Somebody must have really messed up.
He might be the best interior pass rusher in the history of the National Football League.
Pump fake, looking right, looking left. Sack at the 8-yard line.
He was the quintessential undrafted talent for me. High motor, never took a play off. I thought he was the greatest defensive tackle of this era.
He did not make the combine. No one thought he could play.
No way, man. No way. I worked too hard.
In 1990, John Randle signed with the Vikings as an undrafted free agent. Scouts said the Texas A&I product was too small for the NFL.
Hey, you better? I hope he's not. I'm not short. I'm tall, man. Look at them tall ass legs.
We saw a guy who played like he was 6'5" or 6.
6'6", man. I'm 6'6".
And played like he was 320.
Set your big ass down.
Forget about what the stat sheet said.
He was a very disruptive player.
Craig is back to pass, pressured by Randle, tipped up, picked off, intercepted.
And he was really, really quick and really difficult to block.
And who would you guess would be in the middle of it? Johnny Randle. The trouble sack by Randle. Great play, John Randle.
What he lacked in size, Randle made up for with sacks.
Here's a guy that had 138, I believe, sacks as a defensive tackle, not as a defensive end.
Hey, that don't leave a mark.
History will never really give it its full due.
Sometimes those guys who are an inch short and 20 pounds light, they make up for it by having a gigantic chip on their shoulder.
Everyone needs like an enemy and, a nemesis. Being undrafted was his, so he took it out on everybody.
Put my 40-inch python over your
I think John Randle is the most underrated player to ever play a game of football. I can say that because I go against him twice a year.
Here's Barr back and Randle sacks!
You talk to the guys who played against John Randle, and they thought he was more of a handful week in, week out, every Sunday than just about any defensive lineman in a game.
Well, I tell you what, there's no way you're going to go into a game and say, okay, we ain't going to worry about John Randle.
I'm glad that for whatever reason, I never had to play against him. His relentlessness, his passion, the type of relentlessness and passion you can only get if you're a hungry, undrafted player.
He was a volcanic NFL player.
Oh, my.
Blow it up! Blow it up!
Of all the players I've shot over 35 years of working for NFL Films, John Randle is by far the most interesting. And I can't think of a close second.
Knight Rider! Knight Rider!
For all the talking he did,
Big dogs are in the house!
for all the trash talking,
Regulator! Mount up! We're coming!
for all the great NFL film he provided with his mouth.
But I'm telling you, me and you should hang out. We should go fishing together.
Guy could really play.